Nice.
My hat. Here's my prompt. There. The merch, you know.
Is that yours?
Yeah. Okay, we're recording. Hello. That took a while. It's 8:21. Oh, sorry. Little grabbing there. 8:21 here. This is Brash Beats. We're with Brad King here. It took a while, but we're finally
set up now.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you for having me.
No worries, no worries. How are you doing?
Yeah, decent, man. Yeah, not too bad. How you getting on?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good, thank you. I'm gonna need to...
Check your notes,
yeah. Okay, where does the name Brad King comes from?
Oh, it's just my name. Yeah,
Brilliant.
I was like, I always just had it, people when I used to work at like bars and stuff with a name tag would be like, Brad King, that's such a strong name.
Yeah.
I was like, why fix what ain't broken? I just stuck with it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's fucking great. Yeah, I've been seeing that you've been getting good support from big names.
Yeah, man, it's been really good recently. Picking up a bit of steam, which is nice. I got so my latest track, Dirty Girl, is out on Issues. Their latest like reissues VA. It's like the title track on it. So I got a video the other day. Someone sent me a video of Joseph Capriati dropping it as the opener to his set in London for the Metamorphosis event that he had. And this video
is insane.
It's mental. Like I couldn't believe it. The crowd goes off and everything. But like I've not seen this video before. Like this bloke reaches out to me, and it's like, oh, I've been hunting this ever since I heard him drop it. And I was like, mate, I would have loved to have got a video of that. That's amazing. And he's like, bro, you've not seen the video. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, it's on his event page. It's like there, and they like sent it to me.
Mental.
It's like 22 weeks old. I've not seen it. He must have played it when I first sent it out on promo ages ago, and it was just blew my mind. Like I was so I mean that track in of itself has been really good. Like I've got like Dennis Cruz support on it. Michael Beebe like actually just responded to my email. Was like, yeah, I'll play out in Miami and stuff like that. So yeah, it's picking up a little bit of steam, which is nice.
Yeah, dude, I literally saw the post like I don't know, like right before you came. Like, and I was like, oh my god, we're getting a gem here, you know? Like,
I couldn't believe it, man. Like I very rarely ever get videos of my tracks, and I think like I didn't get any for like the first 3 years of like producing. There was nothing, and then I started getting videos of like Jamie Jones, Corolla, Joseph Capriati, and people like that. BB uploaded one of my tracks to his TikTok page.
That's insane.
And like it's crazy. Like it never gets old just to see some big DJ playing your track, does it?
No, yeah, it's massive. It's massive. Really great feeling, actually. Like
I cannot begin to explain the amount of times I've just sat, just rewatching that video. Yeah, just like, in disbelief that it happened. Like he opened his set with it, which is just like such an honor. Like,
I get it. Tell me about your production style. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions so that we can kind of run through it, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, JW. Ableton.
Is there anything else?
Yeah.
Not really.
No, I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, sorry, all you like FL Studio, Logic.
Yeah. So how do you normally go about your tracks? Would you start with like how do you go about that?
I just wing it, mate. To be honest with you, it depends. Like I often quite like to make music that is inspired by stuff that I'm feeling recently. So like usually I'll have like a recently listened to playlist on my Spotify, and there'll be like a couple of tracks on there that I'm vibing with at the time. I'll usually just like kind of like throw them into the door and just kind of like try and make something similar. Like, I still reference the stuff all the time. Like, but yeah, it's if I've got like a cool vocal from somewhere, I might build a track around a vocal. But most of the time, it's just like I like to get a good like core set of drums going.
Yeah.
And then just hunt out a vocal and just hope something works. Like so much of it is like experimenting. Like it would be painful if I did like one of those Fader Pro courses or something like that, because it would just be like me constantly cycling through presets and just taking stuff out, re-cutting stuff, like just changing stuff. It's a bit of a shotgun blast at a wall style, to be honest. It's not the most...
that's good though. That's good. Yeah, I feel like I've also had moments like that you can finish a track in 30 minutes and then other tracks can take 5 days, you know, like.
That's the thing. Like I have like a bit of an issue with like writer's block sometimes, and like getting a bit creatively done in, where like I'll just sit and I'll put like 5 tracks together, but like I won't finish them because they won't like flow really well for me.
Yeah.
And then on that 6th track or whatever track it is, it'll be done in a day.
Yeah.
Like some of my most popular tracks, like Flute, Shut Up, the Depeche Mode edit, this Dirty Girl track, all of those were made in like a day, 2 days. And like I think it just shows when you get into the flow state of it all and things start like clicking together. It just
I feel like sometimes working too much on a track can be counterproductive, you know, like whenever I get stuck into a track, then that usually means that the track is not naturally flowing well. Then you're, I mean, maybe you're able to make it 10% better, 20% better, but like it'll still on the core not be a great idea, or like that sometimes happens to me, you know.
No, that's completely, like, I think there's that tendency, like you see people on like Instagram or like social media and stuff, and they're like, oh, I'm in the studio grinding every day, like I'm constantly, I wake up and I make music until I go to bed, and that's just like, for me that just don't work, and I don't think that's the right way of like handling a lot of it. I think like taking breaks, like I get frustrated with making music sometimes. I think everyone does, and just taking a couple of days out, or even just like searching for acapellas, or like just making loads of presets and stuff that's not like actually creating a tune, helps me kind of like break away from like the whole creation process for a bit, and then come back fresh. Agreed.
And I feel like this sounds cliche, but the creativity is a muscle kind of thing. It's true. Like, you wouldn't hit the gym every fucking day, you know?
Yeah, no, that's it.
You need to kind of take a break and maybe gather some inspiration from somewhere, and then be able to sit down and make it something that is enjoyable. Otherwise, it just won't feel good, and like, it just won't flow, I feel.
No, completely. I mean, there's such a tendency to like. I used to like force myself to go into the studio and try and make a track, and then I realised that one, the track was going to be shit, and then two, like, I was then turning it into like my hobby and my passion into like a bit of a chore, which took the fun out of it. And then once the fun goes, then what's the point? Yeah. So like I'm just a little bit more selective with my time. Like, I still make like a decent amount of tracks, but like I'm not banging a track out every day, and I don't intend to. Yeah. For me, it's still about fun. Yeah. Rather than like making money or any of that kind of stuff.
That's great. Yeah. Can I ask you, like, how often do you finish tracks?
Oh, it's very like sporadic, depending on like where, like what motivation I've got. I think like I at least get like one a month minimum, like that I'm happy with putting out. Yeah. But then like someone said to me when I first started, they were like, just make sure you finish everything you start. Like, even if it sounds crap, just finish it, because then you have experience of like
the whole process.
Right? So I'll probably make one track I'm happy with every month. Yeah. And then within that, there'll probably be like 4 or 5 that I'm just not happy with, that never see the light of day. But most of them are finished and like somewhat playable. Yeah. But it's not like it really does depend. If I'm like in the zone and like I've made a couple of good tracks on the trot, then yeah. But there's like months where I've gone without making a track at all.
So. Yeah, same. But yeah, on average, I think it's like every 3 to 4 weeks. Then you'll get it.
Yeah, something like that.
Same for me. Yeah, works exactly the same for me. Okay, cool. And then maybe this is getting too deep into it, but I just want to know, like, do you usually go through? Is it generally? I know you said it was kind of a shotgun blast, but does it sometimes, or most of the time, does it come first from the bass and the drums, or do you ever start with like the melody, or maybe a chord sequence?
I can't remember I don't think there's ever been a time where I've started with a melody or chord sequence. I don't think like the style of music I make is very just like there's no like musical theory in any of the stuff that I make. And as I've progressed through like making music, I've got a bit like deeper and techier, and there's like less like actual drums in my music. Right? Yeah. So I've got like the kick, clap, hat, and all that lot, and a few hi-hats and stuff. But a lot of the sounds that I use outside of that are like quite modular and like weird glitches and stuff. So they're a lot harder to force around a bass line, I find.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like, I don't think I'd ever be able to. Like, how long do you work with only kick, hi-hat, and clap and weird sounds before having a bass line that unites it all?
Well, I've over the years I've got a lot quicker at throwing stuff down, right? And like, so I can throw like a drum pattern for like a 16 down in like 20 minutes or whatever, that's like decent. I'll just throw it at the wall, and then once I've got like the bare bones to it, like it will just be like throwing a bass line on it. So it can be quite quick. I don't spend too much time without a bass line, but like I build the core of the drums first, so I've got something. If I can groove without a bass line, then I'm relatively happy. Right. And the bass line just adds to it. You know what I mean?
I feel like I should start making tunes in a different way, because I normally do like kick and bass and then go from there.
I think that's fine. I think loads of people do that. I just I also struggle being able to like trying out bass lines unless I've got like some backbeat to it as well. Right. So even if I'm like not making loads of drums per se, like I will just have like a kick, clap and hat as a minimum before I start on the bass line.
Mm.
I'll never just do kick and bass. But it's just preference, right? I like to hear it in context a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think.
That's good. Okay. Following on to the next question. Do you have any plans for next year's? Like what's the future looking like?
Just want to start getting some gigs, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm doing alright on the releasing front. In terms of like I've ticked off a couple of dream labels like a Cuff. Well, you know, Amin Edge and Dance for the people that like made me want to start making music in the first place.
Yeah.
And then so releasing on their label was like a big thing for me. Issues, like I said, I've been chasing that down for, I don't know, like 2 years now. And to finally get that is great.
Yeah.
So I've got the releases bit done. I just want to start getting gigs, start playing out. But it's like one of those things where like I've lived in London like 2 years now. Coming up 2 years.
Where are you from originally?
Essex, so I'm not too far away. But like I didn't really understand the power of networking. Really, like you know when you like see all those Instagram videos and all that stuff, and they're saying you need to go out and meet people. I was like, nah, I'll be alright. Like I'll just
make some tunes.
I'll just make some tunes, and people will come to me because I'm making belters. But like that's just not the case. Like so, in the past sort of like 6 months, I've started going out more. Like I don't really have many mates that are into this kind of music, so the first time I properly went out, I'd been chatting to these two guys like Marco Baxter and David Lowe on Instagram for like a year.
Yeah.
And then they were in London and they were playing a set in Fabric, and it was just me. I'm like, oh, do you know what, fuck it, I'll just go. Like, and I just rocked up, bumped into them both, and was like, can I just tag along with you guys for a bit? And then they've been so good to me. Like they've taken me out to loads of events. Like I've met loads of people now, and it's like. Hopefully the gigs now start coming. It's just I didn't realise how much of like being involved in the scene actually like was important. Like
it fucking matters.
It's one of the sad things, like not sad but unfortunate bits about like the modern world in it. Like it's just you need to have like a good social game. You need to make sure you're out there speaking to the people that are like putting these gigs together. It's not just about having good music.
Some people really enjoy it. Some people really enjoy that. And to be fair, I feel like I'm quite of a social person, and I kind of enjoy meeting new people, but I don't like making it something that has an agenda behind, you know, because that is why I struggle so much with general artistic growth, you know, because I fight against it, you know. I'll be making tunes more than I am meeting people, you know, and then that doesn't really take the tunes anywhere, you know, whereas if you met people and had a couple of good tunes, then you make those tunes go fucking far.
Yeah, I know it's all about balance though, right? I suppose like even when I'm going out, like I work in sales, so like my whole job is going out and meeting people, and I love going out and meeting people. I was like locked. I was in like a relationship until like the start of this year, so I was always quite comfortable. I didn't really do much just because it was just like as is. And then when I became single, I was like, right, okay, like I've not got anything to do tonight. Let's go out. I'll be more proactive about it.
Yeah, 100%.
And one, it was like. It's great because I'm meeting people that are involved in the scene and that at some point may have the power to get gigs. But then on the other hand, like I'm meeting a whole new group of people who are just really involved and into the music and like into this scene, which is like what I've not had. I don't really have a group of mates who are mad into all of the kind of music I'm into. So even there's not really an agenda at the moment for me, really. Obviously, it's nice to get gigs if they come up, but for me at the moment, it's mainly just going out and just spreading like my circle a little bit to just get to know people who have the same kind of passion as I do.
Well, I guess if that's the purpose, and I feel that that's very genuine, you know.
Hopefully,
I think that's really good, because like also like once you're involved in a group of people that are similar or like-minded, then it's also more motivating for you to like carry on doing what you're doing, you know.
Exactly. I think there's the assumption that like a lot of the people in the music industry are very bitchy and cliquey and stuff like that. And like sure, there's people out there who are like arseholes, but the people that I've like bumped into really are these group of people who have just been real nice. Like they've been really like David has been really good at like introducing me to loads of people. Like the people that I have met have all been like supporting my tunes, playing them out when they play out and stuff like that. So it's been quite a wholesome experience, and I've like really enjoyed just kind of throwing myself out there a little bit more.
Nice, that's fucking great. How did you hear about the label, by the way?
Brash.
Yeah.
Brash Beats was like years ago, I think, when I released on the label. You were one of my first labels I released on, I think. Yeah. I think I'd probably had like 2 or 3 signings before then. I think I was following think I was following them on Instagram somehow. I think I think you guys might have followed me and I followed you back or something. And then I was just looking through. When I first started out, I didn't really know what labels to go with or anything like that. So I looked through like the Beatport top like hype charts and stuff.
Yeah.
And you guys popped up, and I think I sent who's it, like the No Messing guy? Rob, yeah. So I sent him a track originally. I sent him a couple tracks, and he sent like feedback being like they're not quite a right sound for the label. And then I sent him one track, and he was like, "Oh, this is an absolute banger," and I just signed it to somebody else because it was my flute track. Yeah, his I sent it out to him, and then his reply went into my junk for some reason. And I didn't check my junk until like 3 weeks later, and I'd already sent it somewhere else.
Fuck.
And then I was like, oh, actually, to be fair, I've got these 2 other tracks that I think are a better fit for the label, like Get Nasty and Raw Uncut. And he was like, yeah, actually, that's a good point. So we just ran like that.
Nice. So it was a full EP then.
Yeah. And I was really, they were like the 2 tracks I was really proud of at the time. They were a bit like kind of like, Get Nasty is a bit gangster.
Yeah.
Like, Raw Uncut was quite funky with like some weird like disco stuff in the background. It was like at the point where I was really starting to like find what my sound was and really start to like get into kind of like the darker side of tech house and house music as opposed to just the commercial stuff that all the YouTube tutorials were teaching you how to do. Like
yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's cool, dude. I don't know if I heard them. I'm gonna look them up because I've only been involved with the label for the past, I think, 2 years and a half.
You've not been researching your guests, man.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
I'm joking. They were literally like, they must have been like 2 years ago. 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, okay, so maybe I was involved then. I don't really know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But I think it's, like my sound has moved on quite a bit from then. Like I've went quite like deep and techie since then. But I think you can still hear my tracks. Let me know. Yeah, I'll give them a listen and let me find out.
That's cool. Okay, we'll do. All right. So can I ask, what's the main inspiration from you? Or like where do you draw your music from?
So I kind of got 2 really. I got Marla, who's like that big bass house dude from the States. I think like when I first started uni, his song "Pregnant," like
oh my god, fucking banger.
Mate, look, like, I've literally got him tattooed on my arm.
Oh no way!
Because he's just that was when I first started getting into like house music and stuff like that. I was always into like drum and bass and stuff like that. So he's probably one of the big ones for me. And then the others are like Amin Edge and Dance, man. I remember I saw them in Egg in like 2017, 2018, and I was that guy. I was stood like at the front just watching the whole night. They must have hated it. Yeah. Because I know now like how off-putting it is to have someone who's just staring at the decks. But I was that guy. There's a photo of me somewhere like taking a selfie and the guys like. But they're like my huge like. I saw them and I was like, I need to start DJing. Like I need to do what they're doing.
How long ago was this?
Like 2017,
okay.
2016.
So was that like the full-on beginning of the project?
Yeah, that was when I started DJing, seeing them, and then I just kept up with those guys, and then I saw them again a couple of years later, and I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just start producing them because like, I got to the point where I was like, I'd love to just hear my own tracks. And like it would be if I could produce with anyone, like collab with anyone, it'd be those guys. They're so like stripped back on raw in their sound, and I can get a bit carried away sometimes in terms of all like the textures and weird shit that goes on in my tracks. I think they'd pull me back a little bit, but like I think our styles would be like such a cool mishmash of like just raw, gritty music. Like,
well, I'll be the first to hear it when that happens.
Yeah, fully, mate. If that ever happens, like that's the dream. But
that's brilliant. Yeah. I remember Mala was the first. It might have been the first artist I've ever seen in London. You know, like
you've seen him. I'd love to see him.
Yeah, I actually got so close just to give him the hand, and I think it was the same concept. Like, I was just a freaky guy, you know. Like,
yeah. I think he was like as well because since I started listening to him, he's obviously like very bass housey and quite heavy now. Yeah. And I've kind of gone a slightly different direction, so I never like bothered sending any music to him or anything like that because I didn't think it would really fit. But I released something on Tech. I released like my F That EP on Tech Chords, like a couple months back, and he like put it in like his Spotify playlists, and I couldn't believe it. Like, and apparently he'd been supporting it.
Oh really?
As well, yeah. And
that's fucking brilliant.
Like he was on the label's promo list, and I never would have thought to have sent them to him. They're quite like dark, techie tunes, but they've got like loads of like dubstep influenced sounds in it, so they sound really like kind of gritty and like thinking about it. Yeah, he probably would like them. So just to have him like put them on his Spotify playlist, I don't even know it was even him, but like still just to be kind of recognised by him all these years
100%,
later.
100%,
yeah, gassed by it.
You should try and send some tunes if that's like. I mean, if you ever make something that is like closer to that side.
Well, if we do a little collab, I think we should do a little collab. I think that'd be fun.
I was gonna ask, what artists from the label would you like to collaborate to?
I think it probably would be like you actually, because like when we first met and you were telling me about, oh, have you heard that song Microwave on Cuff? And I was like, yeah, I fucking love that tune. Like I love Cuff. Like I want to get a release on it. You're like, oh yeah, that's me. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah. And I think you've kind of got that. I think we have the kind of styles that complement each other as well. Like you're a bit more like synth heavy and can do all like the funky weird shit that I can't do. And I think like if we had like a proper like deep techie backbone of a track, and then you put all your crazy sounds and like vocals and stuff over the top of it, I think that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. I feel like sometimes I really want to get into the more sharp, minimalistic sounding tracks. You know, like the ones that you produce, I always really enjoy. Like sometimes it reminds me of when I used to listen a lot to No Art. You know that? Yeah. Like I remember listening to like minimal tech or like is it minimal tech?
I think I'm deep minimal tech.
Yeah. Okay.
But then I'm also not deep minimal tech in like a, I don't know, like a Rossi way, or like there's not chords or pads or any of that kind of stuff going around. I'm not a massive fan of like all the big chords and airy plucky breakdowns and
pads and stuff.
They're kind of happy minimal. I'm like no, I want you to feel a bit like
dark and weird.
Bass heavy, a bit weird, and just
which is I think where we both go over to the same song, because like we're
exactly
both, I like that feeling. Yeah, that'd be great, dude. All right, that's very good. That was a good interview.
I bet you say that to all your guests.
Yeah, well, what if I do? No, but yeah, I think it was really good. I think I like the fact that we went over some production overview and the plans. I don't normally ask this, and I think that that's very interesting.
I think that's the thing I always want to kind of know from like other producers is like just how do you do your thing? Like, what's your process like? Because everyone's wildly different.
100%. Yeah.
Interesting, I think.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, friends. That was Brad King. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, good fun.
And listen to the set, of course. The set is, how can I describe it? I haven't been in a. I don't remember being in a set where I got so. Like I forgot that I was recording, you know. Like I was just in there, fucking dancing. Yeah, it was a really good set. I think.
Play some dirty beats, man.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna link in the description the new releases from Brad King, and also I think we've shot that clip not super recently, so the tracks over there might have been already released. I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's my Cuff tracks in there. That's out now. Hot Ass B on their latest BA. Go stream all my shit, please. Just like earn me some pennies, please, guys.
2 or 3 pennies. That'll do. Okay, nice one. Thank you.
Nice one, bro. Thank you.
Cool. Oh, that went well.
Easy.
Yeah.